from Greeley, Colorado, and I'm a retired librarian. So facts are very important to me. And these are facts that FDR created the New Deal. From the New Deal came the National Labor Relations Act. From the National Labor Relations Act came collective bargaining. From collective bargaining came the strong middle class. And I guess I can't see what's wrong with that.
Well, your sign complains about corporate welfare.
Yes.
But it seems to be that there's a lot of union-type activists supporting certain kinds of corporate welfare for like green energy, windmills, solar panels. Do you oppose corporate welfare across the board, or do you think that only some of it is problematic?
Well, I think that the multinational corporate welfare who really doesn't care about what happens in America, because some of the green energy is produced in China, and I really do think that some loopholes that give corporations tax benefits for moving things overseas is the wrong way to go. That if there are Americans that need jobs, that the banks and the corporations should release some of their money and not try to turn us into kind of an economic slave so that we're desperate for anything and can't come out and do things like the 8-hour workday and child labor laws and the minimum wage and weekends and giving a livable wage so people can actually buy things, because if you have everybody on the bottom and a few people on the top, well then the living conditions for everybody is going to deteriorate, except for the uber wealthy who, I think, like it says in the Bible, that the love of money is the root of all evil, and you cannot only serve two masters, you may only serve Mammon or God. I think it's really true. You're seeing that a lot, that there's a tipping point to me that earthly treasures kind of change how you see the rest of your human.
Well, so Colorado faces a large budget deficit. Many states also face deficits. What do you see as the way to address those problems?
I think that the 2% of the wealthy who they say, yes, you pay the largest amount of taxes, but you can also buy 4 homes, 2 Cadillacs, a car, or a plane, and you do nothing. It's not how much money you have, it's what you do with your money. So I think if you're a wealthy person who does something with their money, they try to benefit others, and then there are those who benefit themselves. And I do think that there are corporate loopholes that corporations, well, okay, in Wisconsin, is it 65%? I think 2/3 of corporations don't pay state taxes. And to me, corporations are taking from the commons, you know, and supposedly for the public good. So I think that they should pay to benefit the public good.
Where are you from?
My name is Cliff Wilming. The last name is W-I-L-L-M-E-N-G.
And what motivated you to come to this rally today?
Well, we're out here to support the people that are standing up in Wisconsin. I think that most people in this country are feeling the impacts of a system that is giving enormous amounts of wealth and power to very few people. And you know, to be quite honest, I'm sick of tightening my belt for the likes of Paris Hilton. I don't think we need to do it, and I think that this is the right thing to do, and I think that there's going to be a lot more of this in the future.
Well, so Colorado is facing a budget deficit of, you know, something like $1 billion. Other states are facing deficits as well. How would you address those sorts of financial issues?
Well, you know, it's funny that they call this an economic crisis when any mindful person reading the Wall Street Journal would know that there was record corporate profits in the 3rd quarter of this year. We've also got 2 wars being funded without any seeming problem. We've got a defense budget that goes over $650 billion, and the rich are richer than they have ever been in human history. So I don't really see this as everybody's going broke. The working class, we're the ones going broke. We're the ones expected to make the cuts so that people in the upper echelon society can live high on the hog. And
well, down below they would argue that what they're being asked to pay more in taxes to pay for the salaries of public sector employees. Do you see that as a legitimate concern, or?
I see it as an absolutely valid concern, and you know, I think that the Democratic Party, as being one of two business parties, has allowed a vacuum to occur. So they can't, the Democratic Party, because they're totally funded by corporations, can't address class. And in that case, you get these guys to fill the vacuum. Yet they are absolutely right. They probably don't have a whole lot of money amongst them. They probably can't afford the taxes that they have. But the Democratic Party is not creating any kind of alternative to that idea. What we're saying is tax the rich people. Tax those bastards up in Aspen. Tax the people out in the yachts. There's plenty of money there. There's plenty of money there. Like I said, record third quarter profits. This guy doesn't have to pay those bills. And you know what, frankly, the working class people in the Tea Party shouldn't have to pay those bills either. There's money elsewhere.
I've been really frustrated that the government went ahead and did the tax cuts for the wealthy, and now that everyone's claiming we can't afford basic public services and workers, they're basically trying to take all the money from the workers and the poor, and they're giving away hundreds of thousands to the rich, and I just don't think that's right.
So then what do you see as a solution to budget deficits in our state and other states?
Well, I honestly think, number one, they have to tax the wealthy more, and they have to have more brackets for the wealthy, because they're people who are multi-millionaires and multi-millionaires and billionaires, and there's no reason why they should be getting $100,000 in tax breaks for each person, while a teacher making $50,000 a year is being asked to give up their benefits, and they're basically it's like Reaganomics all over again. They're basically taking all the money from the bottom.
Well, down at the bottom of the stairs, I mean, those aren't millionaires, they're middle class people, and
right.
They argue that they don't want to pay more taxes for public employee benefits.
But I think that's just because people have been brainwashed into thinking public employee means something like bad. It's the whole rhetoric problem. Because, I mean, public employees are teachers, they're firefighters, they're postal workers, you know, I mean, these are people who are taxpayers. These are regular Americans. So I don't understand why suddenly the idea of public employee has become this code word for something bad. I mean, we need jobs in this country. It doesn't matter if they're public jobs or private jobs to me. It's why they'd want to unemploy more people is baffling to me.
So critics would argue that if you tax the wealthier job creators, you're actually going to hurt job creation because they're not going to have the money to put back into the economy in their own business.
But we've had 10 years of the theory that's true, and we lost jobs over the Bush administration and when we were giving huge tax breaks to corporations, and once we started giving them money, they just hoarded it. The big businesses have not been hiring. The small businesses haven't been getting the loans they need to actually make a difference. So I just think that there's clear proof that idea isn't true. That when you give people money to spend and you prompt the economy in that way, the stimulus actually did work very well, and it did save, I think they said something like 3 million jobs that would have otherwise.
Well, unemployment's still near 10%.
Right. Well, that's because we faced a huge recession. I mean, there was no doubt about that. That's why I think it's stupid to suddenly pivot onto cutting spending when that's actually going to make the economy worse, and cutting people's jobs when we have unemployment. Why would we want to get anyone out of work right now?
150 soldiers pay the whole deficit for Wisconsin. Does that mean nothing? Where's the strategy? Are you guys even thinking strategically here?
Would you like to speak on tape for a minute? I only have.
Well, that's fine. You can record.
Where'd you get those figures about that?
That's actually, it was in the Nation article about the newest Wisconsin deficit. Yeah. So.
Do you want to give your name? Is that?
What's up?
Would you like to give your name?
Wait. You want to make the same amount of money? You know what? I'd be in favor of that. Let's all make a living wage. That's why unions exist. Unions exist to give people a living wage. Wait. How much do their bosses make? How much do the bosses make? How much do politicians make?
So what do you see as the basic disagreement between you and the Tea Parties?
I think the basic disagreement between me and the Tea Party is they want to go after the small fish. They want to attack people who have very little to give up. Right? The Tea Party is in favor of cutting the spending for heating subsidies. The Tea Party is in favor of cutting spending on education. But not a single Tea Party member.
Well, what do you want to...
But what about Michelle Bachmann? Michelle Bachmann's from the Tea Party, right? Has she once proposed a bill to pull troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan, ever? Is she even talking about that? No, she wants to take away heating subsidies from poor people. That's like 0.001% of the budget, man. Really? Then who gets heating subsidies?
Who do you think?
Who gets heating subsidies?
It's scaling back the benefits that all these folks
You do know. Okay, are you guys protesting Walker, specifically Governor Walker in Wisconsin? You're supporting, but guess what Walker did? There was a budget surplus in December of last year. Do you know that? There was a $150 million budget surplus. You know what he did in January of this year? He signed corporate tax relief, right? Corporate tax relief.